We're live.
We are live. What's up, YouTube? No, I'm joking. It's Spotify, innit?
Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
Oh my God. No boss man today. He might pop on midway through the episode, so we'll see if that happens. But we are just, I was going to say we're flying solo, but we know we're flying as a duo this week,
Yeah.
holding it down. We've been here before. We'll be here again. We know what to do.
I don't think this year I've taken a day off the podcast yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think I've been on every week. It just shows I've very little to be at.
Well, that explains the drop in listeners.
Yeah, they're fed up of listening to me. But look, you get a break next Thursday because I won't be here.
Oh, next Sunday, that's when it comes out.
Oh yes. Well, I won't be on that one because I'll be
Oh,
away.
yeah. And then I will be away the following week. So we'll see what happens. We'll just take it one week at a time, one episode at
That's
a time.
it.
But how are you, Shan? What has been happening? How is do you want to tell everybody about your running
The
stuff?
running stuff. It was very interesting. I don't know if you read the report or anything, but I got a gait analysis done yesterday. Um, and it turns out, rest in peace, Shannon's Nova Blasts, they were breaking my feet. And I really, really, really wanted to love these runners because, first of all, I paid for them. Second of all, they were stunning. Like they were just a lovely lilac color. And I know you're not meant to buy shoes for the color, but I did. And yeah, literally I walked in and they were just like, what type of foot do you have? And I was like, oh, I'm flat-feeted. And they were like, are you? Like, why are you wearing those runners? I was like, because I wanted to. And
hmm
they actually put me through some work for the hour, to be fair. Like I literally was walking up and down the shop in like my socks. I was running up and down the shop in my socks. I was on a treadmill running. Then they had me trying on different pairs of runners and doing the exact same motions over and over again. And then they like connected me up with like these like I don't know what, like monitors, and they like monitored my run on the treadmill, and like they could tell me that like I'm taking too wide of a stance when I'm running. I need to actually keep my feet under my hips. I need to actually lift my feet. I'm a grazer apparently, so I just like
hmm
graze. Um, and yeah, I end up getting some new running shoes that were 80% suitable for me.
Excellent. So
Yeah, it
now
was.
you're
I
running
really
in
enjoyed it. I thought it was well worth the money. It's only
now you're
30
running
euro,
in
like.
Sauconys.
Hmm.
Now you're running in Sauconys instead of Asics.
Yeah, I didn't know the name of the brand. I That's my first time ever seeing them.
Yeah, that's what I've got. That's the runners I've got. I didn't know if they were Saucony or Saucony.
I don't know.
So
Half the time I don't know how to say half the names on stuff these days. I'm like,
I
eh.
know. Yeah.
I
So I
was an
remember.
OG Brooks girl, but he even said Brooks aren't that compatible to me.
Oh, very interesting. I might need to come over and see this guy because yeah, I have super wide feet. And I got a football injury when I was like 1920-ish. I basically fractured my fifth metatarsal on my right foot. And ever since, like I've not like it's not healed. It's healed. It's healed fine, but it's changed the way my foot strikes the floor. And then I got a skiing injury when I was in Canada, and that's changed my gait because of where the knee got injured. So my
Ah,
right side is just absolutely fucked. Like if I go to kick a football, it's very hard for me to get a lot of power
power
behind it.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when I'm running, like even during last year's half marathon, when you see the photos of me, my leg, like the way my foot's, if they've caught me at a time that I'm just landing on the ground, my leg's all like wonky looking. Do you know what I mean? It
Oh.
looks like I run
Yeah,
with a
like you're
spaghetti
kind of
leg.
bent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I try my hardest to fix it when I'm out on a run, but then it just gets me thinking about my stride too much, and then I start feeling sore.
That's
You
what
know
was
what I mean?
happening yesterday then for me because obviously I had to try out the new runners because I was like, oh my God, these felt amazing when I was running on the treadmill. And I went for the run and holy God, they were amazing on my feet. But
Mhm.
I got so in my head then being like, right, keep your feet under your hips and make sure you lift your feet at the same time that I was actually getting confused then on what I was doing.
Mhm.
But I did think that myself the last few weeks that my running has changed since I came back to it. I was like, it
Mhm.
feels different the way I'm moving. So I just need to figure out how to get back moving correctly. But
Yeah.
yeah, well worth the money, I thought. And it was only 30 € to get the analysis done. But if you buy the runners from them, the analysis is free.
Oh,
That I thought that was decent deal. Like I was like, yeah, cool.
yeah.
And now I have some
That's a good.
lovely colourful shoes because I did tell him I like colours.
Yeah, they are very nice to be fair. Trying to think if there's anything else been happening on my end. Well, apart from Bear potentially losing his eye, but that's a story for another day.
We're not going to
Um,
talk about that just yet because we don't know what's
no,
happening.
exactly, exactly. Right, we do have a topic, so let me ask you a question.
Me?
Yes, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you feel, in your opinion, do you feel like the industry has actually moved away from the label skinny and potentially just rebranded it as strong and toned?
I would say I am 70-30 on this one
Yeah.
because I would like to think that I have grown as a coach and an individual away from the idea of skinny.
Yeah.
But the industry is very much just shaping it around a different like mask of being skinny. Like when you look at Instagram, TikTok, all that, it is quite lean physiques of abs constantly being shown all year round. And it's like, well, I don't look like that all year round. There's certain points I look
Yeah.
like that. But this is the physique you're aspiring to get. And it's just not realistic to look like that all year round unless you want to be a
Mm-hmm.
miserable bastard. Um, and the other side of it all is the amount of people wanting Ozempic and that now. I'm like, if
Mm-hmm.
you really wanted to be stronger and leaner and feeling better in your own skin, then that wouldn't be an option for you. But yet,
Yeah.
you see, what's her name? Have you seen the photos of her? You won the tennis player, Serena Williams.
Oh, aye, Serena, yeah, yeah.
Did you see the transformation she's had since going on Ozempic?
I have not. Let me see.
Oh God, it's awful. But like
It's
her first
crazy.
picture is what I would describe as like a strong female. She has got biceps, she's got triceps, she's just looking incredible. And now she's just withered.
Holy shit. That is insane.
Yeah, she's just skin and bones. There's no muscle mass on her anymore.
Yeah, that's fucked. She's 43 as well, and she's like basically lost the majority of the muscle mass that she's had over the years. That is
And
fucked.
she's a
She's
professional
at
athlete. She shouldn't like, do you know the way everyone's like, oh, you have to train when you're on Ozempic because you lose your muscle mass. I think it's like you lose up to 40, 60% of your muscle mass on it. So it's important
hmm
to train. She would be training
Yeah,
all the time, would she not? Yet she has none left.
yeah, that's fucked.
And she's promoting it, which is worse. I'm like, what?
She's fully like selling it.
Selling it like she's like, this is incredible. Like, I'm like, but I thought we were meant to be empowering other females to be strong
Yeah.
and all that jazz, but it doesn't seem to be that way. I feel like a lot of people are using strong as a mask. What do you think, Gary?
Before I dive into it, I think that just goes to show you that no matter how successful you are, no matter how much people idolize you, people look up to you, people think you look amazing, you are still going to be your own worst enemy when it comes to judging yourself and your body and how you
Mm-hmm.
perceive to look. Because Serena Williams, when she was at the top of her game, as you said, she is an athlete. Like she is a world class athlete. She's one of the best, women tennis players that will ever grace the earth. And she still had body composition issues and
She's,
body
yeah.
image issues. And it's just so fucking mental to me. Like, um, yeah, it just absolutely blows my mind. But getting back to the question, what do I think? I'm kind of on par with you here, right? I don't know if I'm 70/30. I think I'm maybe more. I think I'm more. Were you 70/30 for yes, it has moved away?
I think there's only a small minority now that really do promote being strong compared to being skinny. Like if you look at everyone that is like a coach or a PT online,
Hmm.
and all they're promoting is like dropping body fat, losing weight
Yeah.
all the time. But they're doing it in a way, I know we all do it as well, because like some people do just want to generally lose weight. And there is people that need to lose at least 5 to 10 kilos because, well, the world we live in has made us all quite bigger and less moving. But there is ones that are promoting it in such a way that it's like, no, like that's not how you look at the end of this journey. If you're just looking to lose weight, you're not going to have washboard abs and run a sub 60 high rocks and do all these things within a 12-week program. And I think
Yeah.
that's where we're getting the mix up.
Yeah. I think that the fitness industry has moved away from the label skinny to a significant extent.
Yeah,
Not completely. I don't think it's a difficult one to navigate because I think it's a rebrand. I think the fitness industry is trying to keep up with the times and it's rebranded because there has been a massive increase in women getting into the gym and taking an interest in lifting weights and focusing on trying to actually properly tone their body. When we look at like the fitness carry on for the 80s, it was all wearing, fucking vibrant green and pink and orange leg warmers and
I'm doing
dancing about
step
your living
ups.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah. Even when I was like started as a PT 10 years ago, like Zumba was fucking massive. Do you know what I mean? Like there wasn't much strength training promoted for women. And I think now that more women are starting to get involved in the gym, and you've got lots of like female influencers that essentially live in the gym, I think the fitness industry has seen that and they've pivoted and they are now using it as a marketing tool. So this is just personal opinion, by the way. This is just my observations. I think the old message that used to get sent out to most people. I don't want to just label this for women as well, because
living,
obviously
yeah.
men you have a massive part to play in this too. Like guys do want to like let's not justify between men and women. Justify? Specify
Just
between men and
specify.
women. Yeah, yeah. When we look at the old messages that we used to get hit with all the time, lose weight, get smaller, be slim as possible, burn as many calories as possible. Like when I was a teenager growing up, I get caught hook, line, and sinker with this insanity workout. Do you remember that fucking thing?
I didn't have insanity, but I had something like similar. Like, what's your one from Biggest Loser and that? My mom used to have her DVDs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Or
fucking
your one from fucking Desperate Housewives, Eva
yeah,
something. Their videos my mom used to have.
yeah.
And I used to
And
actually do them as well, but like that was just me as a child being like, this is fun. But obviously now looking back, I'm like, no, like I was literally doing it because I see my mother doing it.
yeah, but that was all focused around burning as many calories as possible. There was no element of help with actually toning up. There was no element of actually focusing on the nutrition side of things. Like with the insanity, what you would do is you would do like a 40-minute workout, 45-minute workout, and then at the very end of the workout, they would try and sell you their supplements. Like make sure you drink our fucking shake to refuel and all
Fat
that. Like it's
burners and
absolutely bonkers. Whereas the message nowadays, more so than not, is focused around getting stronger and building muscle and actually becoming toned and a little bit of body recomposition and getting and feeling and being athletic. But on the face of it, on the surface level of everything, when you actually look at the bodies being used to be promoted, they're not too dissimilar. It's just a different message. They're very lean. they're relatively small, and they are very visibly defined. It's
Yeah,
the same bodies that's being used to market these things. It's just the wording that's changed. So
changed.
yeah, exactly. So they have came away from the label skinny, as I said, to a significant extent, but it has now just been rebranded to get toned and
To
get
get
strong.
to.
Does that
But
make sense?
oh, 100% makes sense. But the wording of strong as well, like I think that's now becoming a grey area. I'm sorry, Pilates guys, but I feel like Pilates has brought us back a wee bit to that like
I
light
agree.
weights and like
Yeah.
you'll get strong, you'll get toned. Toned is just muscle being built. Like I don't know why we keep using that word like as if
Yeah.
it's a magical thing, but like 2 kg dumbbells and Pilates arms and all of this is coming back in, but it's just very small like physiques with like a little bit of muscle mass on it. That's what is being promoted. I'm like, well, then we're no different than what we were 10, 20 years ago, because that's what we were looking at back then. But it was just referred to as being skinny. And instead of bashing someone for their size now, it's just kind of like, oh, we healthier, optimal health, and all this jazz.
Hmm.
I'm like, can we not just all, take care of ourselves in general and like lose a bit of body fat, but build muscle and be happy out? Like, why do
Hmm.
we have to keep labeling it?
Yeah, 100%. And just to be super clear in here, we're not saying don't do Pilates. Like Pilates is
No,
fantastic. It's great to have control of your
mobility
body and
and
be really, yeah, and be super in tune with your body and great core strength. But to paint a picture here, I imagine that getting strong and actually building muscle and being toned is a squat, a barbell back squat. Pilates is an accessory exercise to back that
mm,
back squat up. So like a
it's to
leg
build your
extension
core
or
to
an
embrace it for
exactly.
that squat.
That's a fucking fantastic analogy.
Yeah.
There you go. So just don't rely solely on the likes of Pilates and yoga, and doesn't matter if it's fucking hot yoga or not. It's not going to get you the body that you desire or that you think that it might get you. Even though I know we've bashed Pilates many times before, but even though you're feeling that burn in your muscles, it doesn't necessarily mean that anything's really
You hold a
happening.
stretch for long enough, you're going to feel a little something, something.
Yeah. Aye. I think yeah, the word toned is getting like you mentioned it there. It's getting thrown about a hell of a lot now, and it it basically means what the old phrase back in the day meant about skinny but defined.
Yeah.
That's
It's
essentially
like
what.
having less body fat that you can see a little
Yeah.
bit of muscle definition there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the likes of strong and stuff as well. This is where like there's a lot of kind of confusion around like the words that's being used in this day and age. Strong can sometimes be used to like describe somebody who is aesthetically lean
Yeah.
rather than someone who is actually
Actually
strong.
strong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah. When
they
you
have
see
the
someone
shoulders
that's
popping, they have like the topless
yeah,
men at High Rocks. I bet you they're all being described as super strong men. And I'm sure some of them are, and I'm sure some of them are not. Like the sled itself, it's
yeah,
150 kg, like you have to push it. But I'd like to see them in a different kind of comparison? No,
compa
we can't say the
comparable,
word.
comparable.
Comparable, like test of strength. Like
Yeah,
instead of
yeah, yeah,
pushing something, let me see you squat it, let me see you deadlift it. Like I'm not saying they're the ultimate things for showing off that you have strength. There is obviously
yeah,
different
yeah,
ways to show off strength, but most people are now aspiring to look like that because to them that's what looks like strong. And I'm like,
yeah.
there's different versions of it. Like you mightn't have one bit of ab, but you can fucking lift like there's no tomorrow.
I'm a good example of this. I have always struggled with storing body fat in and around my kind of chest area. It's something that I've had since I was a teenager. It's something that I've always been really embarrassed about, super self-conscious about. I always wear baggier t-shirts to hide it. I walk funny because my shoulders are rolled forward because I used to like try and hide it growing up. I benched 102.5 kilos a couple of weeks ago. So relatively speaking, I am
You're a
strong
strong bitch.
for strong bitch with a set of double D's. You might not, you might look
Sister,
at me and not think
sister.
that, but you might look at me and not think that because I don't have that
No,
lean, toned, skinny, defined look. So that's where a lot of the confusion and the overlap comes from because, I mean, working in the gym, I'm in the gym that I'm currently in, I've been there nearly 3 years now, and we've had so many people come through the door saying that they want to be strong, but they don't want to put the work in to be strong, and they don't when they say they want to be strong, they mean they want to be lean and
yeah,
toned. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you need to have a clear or a better understanding of what it is you're actually wanting to get out of your journey, so you can then have a clear pathway to do that, a clear roadmap to help you get there instead of just going in thinking that you're doing one thing, but you're actually doing another, and then you're giving up because you're not quite achieving what you thought you were going to achieve by doing the thing that you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. Like that's where I think we're kind of fucking it a bit in the fitness industry with the labeling because every single person that like I've seen now, if I go on Instagram Reels, like they're just in the best nick of their life. And I'm like, amazing for you. Like, you look fantastic. You're probably strong. Like, it's not something that came off the back of like a 12-week shred. That's taken you quite some time to get
Oh yeah.
there. And it's just, this is the idea you're selling people that they can look like this. And I'm like, it's not like that, though. Like,
Yeah.
my transformation took me about a year and I'm still doing transformations. I've done bulks, I've done cuts, I've done bulks. I'm back into a cut. And I'm actually really paranoid now coming into cuts sometimes because I'm like, do people think that I just want to be skinny? Because that's not the case. I just want to see my abs and my triceps pop a little bit more. Or even like doing core workouts in the gym. Like I am petrified. Hello, boss man.
Fucking a wild Kyle appears.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all.
Shannon, keep going here. Kyle's trying to figure out how to
Um,
unmute himself.
but yeah, I do be like sometimes in the gym and like I have core exercise that I need to do, but I also deadlift and I bench and I do all these things. I
Mhm.
need a strong core and I just had a surgery cutting open my stomach. Like, there was a few things going on and I need to build up my core again. And I'm always like, do people think I'm doing these like 10-minute ab workouts in the hope that I'll get skinny? And I'm like, I hope not.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like what you're saying is completely right, and it's I think the way the industry is going now, it's discovered that strong is a much more kind of socially acceptable thing to sell now than thin. And when you see people promoting getting strong, it's typically an image of somebody that's really extremely low body fat percentage, small waist, visible abs, relatively little muscle mass. And that, in my opinion, is just like thinness with a better PR strategy, if that makes sense. Um, Kyle, you want to say hello,
We would
mate?
love your input here, boss. Bring the
I was
I,
gonna say,
science.
but sorry, but can you say hello and then I want to segue slightly.
yeah, I was gonna say, can you? Well, firstly, hello. I have said hello several times, but my mic wasn't picking up because it was the wrong mic. So, for the purposes of you guys in the audience, hello, good to see you and hear you. Um, I'm not up to date as to where we are. So, if Gary,
Yeah,
you could give us a quick up to date, that would be smashing.
aye. Before I give you the quick up to date, I would just like to say, basically off the back of what I just said there as well, like, don't see. That this isn't all negative. Like me and Shannon have been pretty positive in what we've been saying, and I think there is a genuine and positive shift in the fitness industry, especially when it comes to women lifting weights. I think it's far more normalized now. It's promoted a lot more. Strength is genuinely valued more than it was, especially when we look back at the 80s and 90s when it was all just fucking Mr. Motivator prancing about the living room looking like an absolute tool. And there's more women, you being one of them, Shannon, who genuinely want to become stronger, more muscular, and capable, rather than simply smaller. One of the worst fucking quotes I heard a couple of years ago, and it's one of my clients that was in the gym, very old school. I think she's kind of mid 60s, 65-ish. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and that And I'm like, well, you've obviously never had a fucking good pizza in your life. Do you know what I mean? But it's
She's clearly
that
never had
that.
a spice bag with curry sauce.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Mad on the gin, mad on the gin, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're contradicting yourself here because you're mad on the gin. You're refusing to eat fucking nutritious food that's actually going to help you become healthier, happier, stronger. But you're essentially a functioning alcoholic. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, I don't
That
know,
is very
it's very
much the
confusing.
supermodel diet, cigarettes and gin.
Yeah, cigarettes, gin, and the occasional gram of cocaine as well, which curbs the hunger. Um, Kyle, to bring you up to speed, the question that I asked Shannon at the start was, in your opinion, has the fitness industry moved away from the label skinny and kind of rebranded it and slash or rebranded it as strong and toned? Um, what is your thoughts on that? Yeah, face
Uh,
value, and then
gen
yeah, go for it.
Generally, picking up on what you guys have said, I think that you're right in terms of like the cardio resistance training thing. It doesn't seem to be as much of an issue anymore as what it was. I don't know if Gary, you remember, but I'm pretty sure back when we were at college, we done our graded unit on like men resistance training, women cardio, like why it was the way it was. So I think there was definitely awareness brought to it. What was that, 15, 16 years ago? More
Mm.
than that, actually. It was going on 20, Jesus, we're old. But yeah, I think there's awareness brought to it. It doesn't seem to be as much of an issue anymore. But I think like Instagram, I don't know. It's like the market kind of dictates what it wants to hear. It usually goes through periods of correction and balance. Like we did have a period of you can eat whatever you want and if it fits your macros, and then that was like proved to be like people were just taking the piss and couldn't get in shape because they're just eating shite all the time and try to eat McDonald's, and then it went into no, you need to tighten in your calories, so that becomes like this don't know, try to lose weight and being skinny. And now I think it's the opposite. And actually, I don't think it's very helpful because I've seen when you guys put what topic do we go into, I was like, I've seen over the last week, like, as I'm not gonna lie, as particularly females and coming out with going, oh, you shouldn't be eating 1,200 calories. I eat 3,500 calories in a day and I've got a six pack. I'm going, don't think that's particularly helpful either because majority of like people go and try to eat 3,500 calories a day and see what happens. Guarantee you 10 days later, you're not going to have a six pack, like for most of the lifestyles that people live. And I don't think that's particularly helpful either. So, whilst it's again bringing in a label that most people want, everybody wants to hear that they can eat more than guys at under strength. I don't think that's particularly helpful on surface level anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, we were just kind of talking about like Shannon's kind of 70-30. Oh yes, Shannon.
The wee light bulb went off there. See that? You
Aye,
actually see it.
aye. Oh my God.
Kyle, have you seen the photo of Serena Williams
Oh yeah,
recently?
yeah. We were talking
No.
about that. Mate,
Google that right now.
Google that shit. Like since she's been on
Mental.
GLP-1s and obviously she's promoting it as well. Yeah, pretty fucked. But anyway, as Kai was Googling, I will just kind of summarize what me and Shannon have said if I can remember everything. So basically, Shannon's 70-30 that we the fitness industry has shifted away from the label skinny. But we are under, you know, we're no, I think it's can be under the false pretense that we have shifted away from it slightly, but it seems to just be a bit more of a better PR and marketing strategy. Shifting away from the message of lose weight, get smaller, be slimmer,
Skin
burn
and
calories.
bones to now being
Yeah,
lean.
strong, build muscle, become toned, be lean. But as I was saying when you just popped on, like it's the same images of extremely low body fat percentage, tiny waist, visible abs, relatively little muscle mass that's still being used to promote nowadays what it was promoting back in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s as well. So,
I'd say early
ah,
2000s was more literally skeleton vibes, but 80s and 90s,
oh
yeah.
yeah, 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 true. My 90s was skeleton fights, but maybe the terminology has changed, but has the actual message itself changed? That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
See what Serena Williams has done. I've just got the picture here. It's the equivalent of GLP-1s doing to what like Botox done to like Katie Price. Like you look at the before and after going, you were actually quite good looking and human before you took them and now
She had
you
great
look off.
arms. I'd kill
If you
for her
were,
arms.
the Katie Price or Serena.
Serena, she has such great muscles on her arms, and now she has nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say actually looking at a lot of the pictures of her before, like it's not for me to tell somebody what she wants to do. She can do that to herself, same with Botox. But again, if you're going to put yourself out there and like say it is what it is, then you leave yourself open to opinions. So, I think that she looked better before, she looked healthier before, but again, her struggles were weight probably. Again, there's an option there for it. It's again, people's struggles with the body image and Botox. Like people can do what they want, but they don't always look better for it after.
No,
Yeah, 100%, and that's what I was saying as well. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a top, athlete, one of the best tennis players, arguably, that's ever stepped foot in the earth, and she still has body image issues and wanted to do something about that. And then now, I hope she's feeling better for it. I really genuinely do. In my opinion, she looks worse for it. But again,
I don't
like you
think she's
say,
going to be
Kyle,
feeling
that's
better.
that's not up to us to decide how someone else should look and feel. Do you know what I mean?
And like to be fair, if she comes out and she says she feels better and she feels she looks better, then great, great for her. Genuinely great for her. I think again, everybody has opinions about people's body composition. If somebody thinks that being skinnier for them is going to make them like again healthier, happier, whatever, it's not for us to say that that's right or wrong. There's obviously messages that come out, and I don't think when we're talking about like being the correction right now is that skinny was wrong. And I think most people would probably agree that a lot of starvation diets, the way that certain gyms and groups went about things in terms of like mass producing diet plans that probably were, that's where the 1200 calorie comes from. Like, I'll tell you what, like giving everybody 1200 calories wasn't right. But see, giving some people 1200 calories, yeah, that isn't the worst thing. In the same way that like what's happening right now, and again that reel was really sticking out to me yesterday, the girl in the 3,000 and 3,500 calories saying that like all women or pretty much most people should be consuming 3,000 calories. I'm going, well, just because 1,200 calories was wrong doesn't mean 3,000 calories is right or 3,500 calories is right. I'm also not going to lie, the people that are promoting that type of stuff, you look at their lifestyles, and I'm going, well, essentially, you're doing 20,000 steps a day, you're training 3 times a week, you're doing, oh, sorry, 3 times a week, you're training 3 times a day, you're doing like all sorts, you live a lifestyle that most people don't. Most people are stressed, most people are underslept, most people are sitting at desks. Like, 3,500 calories, they don't need 3,500 calories. And I'll stand here with that prove me wrong sign until somebody can come up with a valid argument why somebody should be on 3,500 calories. But a lot of people like the idea of that.
Oh, fuck it. I love the idea of 3,500 calories. I'm not going to lie. I just know I would be the size of a house if I stuck to that on a daily basis.
I
I don't
did
think I
see
could actually do it every day.
you could, to be fair. Me and I were talking about this during the marathon. We were carb loading and we're 3,500, 4,000 calories. See if you eat 3,500, 4,000 calories worth of like simple carbs and things that aren't overly like satiating. Easy. You can actually still be hungry. Me and I were still
Yeah,
genuinely hungry at 4,000 calories, and that's a
yeah.
lot of people do that. Which is why it baffles me when people talk about like, oh, I don't track my calories, I just go with hunger cues. I'm like, yeah, but most people's hunger cues are all over the place. Most food is set up to a point where it doesn't actually digest so that it fills you. Like you're fighting an uphill battle. I seen someone yesterday put up something that was I can't remember the name actually, but they were an influencer. It was a woman who put up a reasons to follow or unfollow me, and she's like, "Oh, I don't track my food, or I'm against tracking your food, or whatever." And I'm like, "This woman's got like 1 million followers." And I'm going, "Well,
Hmm.
that's great for you, but you also look like somebody who has never been on a night out in your life." Like, and I know that's an assumption, but I'm just like, every single bit of food looks like those 7 course menus you go to, and it's like a tasting menu that's like wee
Mm.
rabbit portions. I'm going. Well, that's great. You don't need to track your food because you're eating rabbit portions of food, but most people are sitting eating a fucking rolling sausage for breakfast and not like moving. So I think they probably best track their food for a wee bit if they want to make changes.
Yeah, I fully agree. Speaking of tracking food, there's a guy that I follow on Instagram as well, and he's a big juiced up bodybuilder. You might have actually seen him. He's quite controversial and he likes to call out people. He's called Runvis.
So I think so.
No, he's a fucking absolute tadger. I follow him because of how fucking brutal he is, like calling out idiots. Anyway, somebody asked him a question on his stories saying, what app do you use to track your food and whatever? And he's like, started going off on one about don't track your food, just follow the meal plan that I give you. Your calories are already predetermined. Stick to the meal plan, and you'll get the results that you want to get. And I'm just thinking, you're teaching your clients absolutely fuck all when it comes to nutrition. Then are they just going to follow that meal plan for the rest of their fucking life? Like there is no knowledge or understanding around the calories and the quality of nutrition that you're bringing in. He essentially just gets all of his clients on, from what I can see, on chicken, rice, and veg for 3 to 5 meals a day. Bonkers.
That's literally like someone here locally that does the exact same thing, has been doing it for the last 10 years,
Yeah.
never changes his plan.
Just big, just up bodybuilder, just because it works for him, because he's on a copious amount of fucking performance enhancing drugs, doesn't mean that it's going to work for fucking Sarah, single mum of two, working a full-time job and trying to juggle single parent life. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, his clientele or his market that he's promoting for, does it's not going to work for Sarah. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's no
But he's
trying
not going to
to.
tell Sarah that either. He's going to
No,
let Sarah come
exactly.
along.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is a big issue.
You want to step on stage, then there's probably a good chance that there's not a lot of room for error because your body fat needs to be down at a really, 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 really low percent. As we're talking about Sarah, I don't think Sarah has intentions of stepping on stage just yet, and I think she's got a lot more scope for a bit of flexibility. So if Sarah has to follow the exact meal plan, I don't actually think that's a terrible thing at first, to be honest, having a bit of structure around your
Yeah,
food.
of course.
But I do think if you're only ever following somebody's structure with food and you have no idea how it's actually working, what calories are going into your body, I'm going to give you a wee insight as to what happens when that goes. You're not going to understand how to get in shape without actually
Yeah.
following that meal structure. And actually, sadly, so many people do constantly go back to, oh, I'm just going to follow that meal structure again. They'll whip out it from 5 years ago and go,
Yeah.
I'm going to follow that again. And it's like,
For how long
give me a
though?
laugh. Give you a laugh, Shannon. The person that you're talking about in our local place who gives out the meal structures the way that they do, I had a client come to me at one point and they were back. This is what I used to do one-to-one PT, and they were banging on about nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. And I was like, yeah, I'll 100%, I'll help you with it. Yeah, but I got given this plan, and it was really personalized to me, and I lost a lot of weight from it. I was like, can I see that plan? They brought it in the next time. And they're like, I was like, oh, and they said that they made that specifically for you. And they're like, yeah. It's funny because I'd coached a lot of people who'd been to the same guy in the same gym, and I had about 3 copies of the same exact same meal plan in my locker. So I literally went over to my locker, pulled out one that was exactly the tailor-made plan for. I was like, it's mad how I've got that tailor-made plan that you got for yourself in your locker already.
One of my mates started coaching with an online coach who now lives in Thailand. We's misses one of those kind of nomad. Is that what you call them? What would you
Yeah.
call them? Why nomad fucking whatever anyway. And he sent him like his meal plan for starting up, and I swear to God, man, it was like steak this, steak that. He had maybe 12 different supplements to take as well, and the supplement
I hope he has a load of money.
stack. That's what I was going to say. The supplement stack and the meal plan itself was costing more per week than the fucking coaching was costing per month. It was insane. And I'm like, this is bonkers. Like, no, no mention of how many calories or how many grams of protein you should be on. Just follow this meal plan, take all these supplements, and do the training program, and you'll get in shape. And I'm like, yeah, where's the fucking education around this? Why does he need to take all of these fucking supplements?
Well, I'll give you a story
Mental.
about the local person as well, because I had a friend who's vegetarian who went to the local person for shredding. Well known for losing a shit ton of weight because, well, you're all getting the one meal plan and it doesn't matter your age, height, anything, sex, any of that. You're getting the one plan. But this friend of mine, he was vegetarian and lo and behold was handed the meal plan and it was chicken, broccoli, rice. My friend was like, well, X. I'm vegetarian. I told you that, and he was like, just throw in tofu for the same amount. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, throw in tofu or whatever shit you eat instead for the same amount.
Great education. Great knowledge. Let me
That
ask
friend
you a
ended up
question.
getting a gastro sleeve then.
Oh, there you go. That would work.
Yeah.
But
That worked
let me
better
bring it.
than what he was given for that 12-week plan.
Let me bring it back to the topic and ask you both a question separately. All righty. So, Shannon, I'll ask you first. And this is obviously based on what we were talking about with the question I asked you at the start, right? If your client achieved the strength, fitness, and health improvements that they wanted, but their body didn't change aesthetically or didn't change to the level of leanness or toneness that they uh, thought, would you still consider your coaching a success of that individual?
So if I got someone fitter, healthier, able to move
Hmm.
without any pains, dropped a wee bit of body fat, but they didn't look the exact way they wanted to because they looked at a picture online and said, that's
Yes.
what I aspire to be. Yes, I've done my job to my extent. Their
Okay.
expectations were very, very high. We actually have an individual that comes to mind when this happens, and in the last 2 years, dropped 16 kg, like incredible transformation. Yet still doesn't think that they are in any good
Yeah.
shape and that
Yeah.
they're overweight because they're not as toned as they'd like to be, but yet
Yeah.
refuse to go to the gym.
Yeah. I actually, yeah, solid answer, Kyle.
Just really struggling to think who that is that Shannon's talked about, Jane. But I'm sure we'll talk about it after the podcast.
Aye. Once we stop recording, we'll name and shame. No,
Yeah. What was I going to say? You want me to answer the same question?
yes, please, mate.
Um, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it is. I think that's our fault. If that's the case, I don't think it's an actual success. I can say there's elements of success in it. There's elements of failure. Would I personally consider it like an overwhelming success? The word that you used, I was going yes, a success until you added the last word in the question and said the shape that they fought. And I think if we're looking at the very start part of the outcome, and it's between us to actually look at what that goal is for them, if they've not changed into what we have set out originally, then it's not a true success. There's successful elements of it, but we haven't got the mission complete. It's a bit like if we look at a football team analogy, someone saying that your expectations this season to win the league and go, oh, but we played a lot better, our points tally's better, we fans are more bums and seats. Yes, there's elements of success, but we didn't achieve what we set out to achieve. On the counter argument to that is fitness body composition is not something that you ever complete in terms of like you'll always want to. You both have been in photo shoot shape and want to look better. It's not something like that. But what I mean is if the initial thing is we have to drop 10 kilos and they drop 2 kilos and they are going, well, why didn't I drop the other eight? And I'm going, well, I got you fitter and stronger. I'm like, well, that's not a success. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It needs to be relative. Of course, if they're never lost weight and they're getting into the six, seven, eights and it's trending in the right way, 100%. But like if they've shifted 2 kilos in the first 3 weeks and I can start arguing, and I think this is the issue a lot of PTs have, is go, oh yeah, but we got fitter and stronger and stuff. And going, well, do you know what? There's an imbalance between communication there between you and a client. Like you need to be able to
Aye.
set the tone as to what expectations are. Like you can't just keep dressing lack of results up and going, oh yeah, but you're fitter and stronger. That's great. I'm not taking away from that. But if their expectations are to look better and they've came on board and they're paying you for a service to look better and you've not managed those expectations, then you've failed at your job. I'm sorry. Like
Okay. Yeah, I think because you missed the bulk of what we were talking about earlier, there has been a bit of confusion as to where that question came from. Shannon, I'll let you go first and then I'll dive back in.
Um, I would like to challenge Kyle to a duel right now.
oh God, okay. We'll get the wardens out, Shannon, right? Let's go.
Let's go. So I was thinking of another individual. I don't know if you'd remember this individual from, oh, I'd say about 2 years ago now as well. But this individual wanted to look like who's your man that plays Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, and stated that that's what he wanted to look like within 12 weeks. Do you think that's achievable?
If you've told him that he can look like that and you've not got him like that, that's your fault. If you've not met set expectations and said you're not going to look like that in 12 weeks, but here's what we can actually do, and that's what the outcome is, that's where I'd say success and failures met. But the problem is so many PTs will just go, yeah, that's grand,
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
can
what we
do
can do.
that.
Yeah. Like, in my opinion, if you've told somebody that you can do that and they've landed it 12 weeks later and they look nothing like that, that's your fault as a PT for not managing expectations.
Okay. Like, can I dive back
I
in?
did not tell that person, but I
I
do remember that conversation. I was like, do you
um
realize
I, I
what this man
fully
does?
I fully agree with you, Kyle, but where the question came from initially was the rebranding of or the rewording of skinny to strong and toned. And I think there is a misconception, especially more so with women than men, that when they come in to the gym or when they contact a PT and they say I want to be strong, what they're actually meaning is I want to have a lot less body fat than I currently do and be more toned. Um, and I think it's the terminology and the wording can get all fucking tangled in together. So that's why I agree. Obviously, I agree with you in that we should dig a bit deeper and actually see what the outcome that the client is actually wanting is, and then set expectations around that. But in the gym, like the gym that I'm working in, people will come in the door and they say, "Oh, I just want to be fitter and healthier and stronger," but they actually mean I want to be smaller and leaner and more toned and actually have not that much muscle mass on me and a smaller waist. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the biggest issues, and again, it's PTing and coaching is a really tough job because it's a bit like physios. You need to manage expectations. People come into you and
Hmm.
go, I've had back pain for 10 years and never felt out of it, and I want to feel good within 2 sessions. Like, if a physio's telling them that they can do that when they know it's not possible, that's a physio issue. Like, we can start to get you feeling better, but it's probably going to take 8 sessions and probably cost you the guts of a grand to do it. But we'll get there in 8 sessions. So nobody wants to hear that, but that's where it comes from. When you talk about expectations, and this is exactly where it comes from, I've often had people come to me and tell me they wanted something and go, right, here's an example of it. So I want to lose a bit of weight, and then they'll go on and on and on, and then they go, yeah, but I don't really care what the number says in scale. I'm like, well, to lose weight, how are we measuring how we're losing weight if we don't look at the scale? And there's conflicting things, and you as a coach need to deal with that really early on because otherwise you're going to be dealing with a conflict on what that person actually wants. You need to be super clear at going, right, you've mentioned and you bring their attention to it, you've mentioned two things. You've mentioned what to lose weight and you said there's an apprehension about the scale. Do you maybe see how there's a bit of a conflict there? Where does that come from? How do we look at sorting that out? What is it you actually want? Is it the case where you actually want to lose body fat and look more toned? What exactly is it you want? And that's your job as a coach to ask more questions. I think going back to Henry Cavill and go, right, class, you want to look like Henry Cavill, I get that, but I'll tell you what, Henry Cavill doesn't even look like fucking Henry Cavill in that picture anymore. So the question I have for you is, what is it about Henry Cavill that you want to see in yourself? And what do you think personally, between where you are right now and what you see in that picture you need to do to get there? Do you think that's possible in 12 weeks? And then start to kind of frame it as to, okay, well, that's not possible in 12 weeks. However, we can get you leaner, we can build strength, and this is how I would phase it. And that's where you go into it. Are you on board with it? Because if they're not on board with it, fucking back in the sea. Like, see you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. I think it really highlights how much social media is using the term strong, and let me reword this. It highlights how much strong is actually partly being used as a more socially acceptable way of saying leaner. Um, and I think strong and toned have, in a sense, become the new skinny label, if
Can
that makes sense.
I think if you want to look at what an average strong person looks like, go and actually look at some powerlifting meet
Yeah,
competitions, see what a strong person looks like. I think you'll find they don't look how you have in your head what they think they're going to look like. And that's not to say they don't have more muscle mass than the average human being, but strong often doesn't come as a body composition that's
yeah.
super lean and beach ready. Like, that's not
Hmm.
what strong is look at what actual strong is. It's the same when people talk about running and fitness. I'm like, go and look at pictures of marathons and half marathons and look at the pictures of the average person that does it. It's probably not looking like what you think it looks like. So I think just having ideas about what it is you're talking about in the first place.
Yeah. Aye, we did cover that kind of towards the start of the podcast and how like strong is now being used to describe someone who is like aesthetically lean, rather than someone who is actually particularly strong. Just because you look like you've got big massive muscles doesn't necessarily mean that you can lift big massive heavy weights.
In fairness, some of the most aesthetically lean people that I have seen are piss weak. Like
Yeah.
genuinely don't have, couldn't fucking fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Like they're just, it doesn't, strength, to be clear on this, just for the science purposes, where your strength is right now, you will not get stronger at a strict press, a squat, a deadlift, like a row pull-ups without over time putting on more muscle mass. Like at first, yes, you can change movement, and yes, there's nervous system adaptations that will get you stronger. But I'm talking about longer term. I'm talking over a period of 6 months to a year of consistently training and adding load. Like if you're adding 50 kilos to a squat, 60 kilos to a deadlift, and 20 kilos to an overhead press, like your body composition will look different. Don't think it'll look as different as what you think it will, but
Yeah.
it will look different. It's the people who have the body compositions that you see on Instagram that are more kind of readily available to us. Are people who have been doing that for years and years and years. They've not done it over a 12-week period and went, I just fancied turning into Henry Cavill in 12 weeks. Who have you ever known? Who have you ever looked at in a 12-week period has gone from, oh, there's average Dave to, oh, all of a sudden 12 weeks later, have you seen Dave? He's looking like Henry Cavill. Couldn't make out which one was which. Like, fuck off.
That's a lot of juice right there. But does now that we've kind of spoken about that and went like summarized kind of what we went over, does that change any part of your answer to the question that I asked? If a client who has been on social media and believes that getting stronger or believes that getting leaner means getting stronger, if you achieved that with them, you know, if they were stronger, they were fitter, they had massive health improvements across the board, but they didn't achieve the aesthetic goal that they were maybe expecting, would you still consider your coaching to be somewhat of a success? I changed it to somewhat of a success.
I would say he's definitely somewhat of a success. I do think the big grey area of that is there needs to still be a really, the conversation we're having between us right now needs to be set out from the start. And to be honest, I used to get 10 years ago a lot of people going, do you know what? I like the results, and you get a message going, really, really like the results, whatever. I just thought I would have been, and then there'd be another wee bit of it, or when you were doing another 12-week block or 16-week block or whatever it was, I just thought there would always be a caveat with, I like the results, but I get less of that right now because a lot of the time is just managing expectations and go, well, this is what's to be expected in 12 weeks. Like, this is what's to be
Yeah.
expected in 6 months. And to answer the question directly, is there success in that? There's massive success in that. 100% there's massive success. I do think for it to be a full success, it needs to be managed expectations in terms of like what the outcome is in the first place. Nobody is going to look like fucking Zac Efron in Baywatch after 12 weeks without a copious amount of drugs.
Yeah, 100%.
Challenge
I think
accepted.
I think again it just highlights how much the language has genuinely improved in some ways. You know, it's not all about getting skinny and being built at the side of a £5 note. The language and get strong, get lean, get toned is, in my opinion, a lot better. But the underlying aesthetic pressure and issue that's always been kind of prevalent in the fitness industry, it's not really changed along with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will just the problem with overcorrection is this isn't right either, and we will get an overcorrection again. That's probably going to be in 6 months' time when everybody's sick of everybody, because everybody will have given it a go of like eating super amounts of calories and getting stronger and realize that they end up just looking like an overweight power lifter. I think they'll start to realize that that doesn't work either, and I guarantee you almost that we'll get you also look at what social media started the cop on to in terms of like, see all the fucking pointing at like have this once a day, once a week, once a
Yeah.
month.
Oh,
Like,
aye.
yeah, I know. Let's not even go. I know I brought it up, but I think people are copping on to just how fucked a lot of these things are in terms of like
hmm
just let. I think what's going to happen in 6 months is it's going to go very much back to a right. Let's not beat about the bush here. Nobody's actively tracked their fucking calories properly for a while. We've either gone fucking super skinny or super whatever. I guarantee you it's going to go back to if it fits your macros with a calorie thing in the background and about a kind of lifestyle phase and how to live with it again. Guarantee it's going to go with that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's reevaluate that, sorry, in 6 months' time, going into 2027. Aye,
He's
Yeah,
definitely
just
taken note of this.
2027. I think one question that everybody should answer, I ask themselves, or two questions, sorry, that everybody should ask themselves is, do you want to become stronger because you value what your body can do? Or do you want to become stronger because you feel like strength training is the new socially acceptable route to looking thinner?
thanks to Dave and Toby for the music. We'll see you next week.
Should
Bye!
I?